Right folks, so here's how to remove one of the boot flaps. The major problem is that you've got another screw or bolt which is up here behind the actual arm of the flap. So in order to get to that, what you need to do is apply power into that connector there. There's two larger pins and two smaller pins. The two larger pins are the ones that you need to be using. So all you want to do is that there's a little on this side. The tab is furthest away. On the other side it's the one that's closest to you. So on this side, just a little pressure up there, and then that pops that plug off. So possibly you'll be able to see in there, there's two larger pins, two smaller pins. It's the larger ones that need the power. So all I do, because I've done this quite a few times before, is I've got a little gadget box which applies power. But just to be able to do it as a one-off or for testing purposes, if you're careful, you maybe would get away with just putting direct feeds or maybe a couple of crimp connectors or something like that. So then, fighting with one hand, you need to get that connector into there. Right, so once that connector's into there, that means that you've got power onto the motor, which will allow you to move this flap out the way in order to be able to access the bolt that's behind it. For me doing this, I've just got a little gadget box because I've done this a few times. So this is running off a drill battery and then converting to 12 volts. But you can just use a car battery or some other form of 12 volt supply just as a one-off, you know, if you just need to move it out of the way. So I've got this reverse polarity switch set up to do this. So one way should allow the motor or the flap to come down, and then the other way it will then obviously go back up. So just be mindful that in this position you're going to hit your window if you allow it to go on for too long. So that now allows you to get access to that bolt that's there, which you can't see otherwise with that flap being in position. And then to put it back is that you just reverse the polarity because it's just a motor. So 12 volts are on the two pins in one direction. Flip the wires over if you're doing it manually, and then it will then go the other way, and that's it back into position.